Welcome back to Good Morning Wilmington. It's your main man, Big Ive, and I'm here with
Vincenza.
What you think about this morning so far?
I love it. Gosh, it's so good to be back.
It's like riding a bicycle. Isn't
Yes,
it?
thank you. That's a perfect example. It's like riding a bicycle. We just have to get warmed up, and we're there, right where we left. Right where we picked up right where we left off.
Right, and speaking about getting warmed up, Delaware, Wilmington is just getting warmed up. We have the mayor, Mike Purzycki, here on the plaza, in the studio, to talk about us and tell us what's going on with Wilmington. Mayor, welcome.
Welcome, Mayor.
Hi, Vincenza. How's everybody?
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Good being with you.
2 terms in, Mayor, and there's been some significant changes in Wilmington. And as what I love to call it is the new Wilmington.
Yeah, I heard you say that. That's pretty good. I said to someone the other day, no objective observer of the city can't come through the city and not be impressed with all the changes. Right. In every aspect. Market Street, sure, great eating spots, up and down Market Street, Riverfront continuing to thrive, but we have neighborhoods that are thriving. We made huge investments in the east side of Wilmington, $20 million of our own money, and that leverages, of course, private dollars on top of that. Amani Village out in the northeast by Riverside, a fantastic project. I went into a restaurant the other day, and one of the fellows who was in there just happened to go up there and said, I couldn't believe it. It was just like this, it just popped out of the ground, this fantastic community that nobody's aware of. Right. There's so many things here I find that parts of our city just don't know of. So huge numbers of people have never been to the 76ers Fieldhouse. Huge, most people, I mean really most people have never been to the Pine Box out on 7th Street Peninsula, 140,000 square foot soundstage that brings some of the biggest acts in the country here to rehearse before they go out on tour. It's really exciting. Everywhere you look, there's something going on, and I think it's cultural. So you talk about New Wilmington. It's tough to get people to invest if they don't believe in the future. But once they start to believe in the future, then the money starts coming in from everywhere. So everybody's familiar with Purzycki Poland, who does tremendous amount of investment in the city. But we have investors building apartments from all over the region, from Maryland, from New Jersey, from New York, bringing tens and tens of millions of dollars into the city. And so that's really what's happening. The other thing I think that's happening is there's kind of a cultural change. I always thought of Wilmington as being too corporate. It's been our success over the years, the DuPont Company, Hercules, all the big banks. But there was a downside to that, and that was kind of stifling because they had that buttoned up corporate culture. Right. And I think it kind of stifled creativity. You talked about creativity before. And now I get the sense that is letting go. And so now we have the young creative classes. You talked about Jet Phoenix. I mean, he's a great member of this creative class that we've got in the city. And he sees we're getting young kids that are just being inspired by him, where he wasn't there before. Right. And so you'd find that the dynamism of that organic growth that takes place in cities, they don't take place out in the country. Right. They don't take place out in the suburbs. There's something gritty about the city that inspires people to reflect on humanity and the human condition, and that's what we love about the arts, and I think that's starting to happen more and more now.
And you touched on it so well, Mayor, especially from not just the small business sector, but also the restaurant industry, coming from someone who was born and raised in Delaware,
right?
3rd generation in the restaurant industry, has a restaurant in North Wilmington, and has seen the growth and the development. I love it. It's only helpful for all businesses. I believe that we can all succeed together. Nobody wants to go to an empty place or empty community or empty shopping center, whatever it may be, wherever your business may be. But I love that there's so many businesses opening up, and that's good for the economy, it's good for the community, it's good for the neighborhoods. So the more businesses that are opening up, it only betters the whole community entirely.
Yeah, we agree. So it's interesting how that happens. So people would say, you need these amenities so people will come live here. And I would argue that amenities only follow when people are living there. So it's really hard to get people to say, let me put my restaurant and hope that somebody starts living here. So what happened, and it's kind of our secret sauce right now, because like everybody else, this work at home mentality and almost I don't want to work mentality that happens, right? I mean, you've seen that. And you've seen it in your business. So, so with fewer people working or fewer people working in the city versus working at home, it impacts our wage tax. So what we've done, what has been, I call it our secret sauce, is we have people moving into the city in great numbers. You know, all these apartment houses that are being built, they're all getting rented up. You just wonder where everybody comes from. But you know, we've got people moving in, and they populate all of our restaurants and all of our, you know, night spots. You know, they're thriving. Now, one thing that's not working so well is our lunch trade is less because of what I described before.
Right,
you don't have people in the offices. One of the great aphorisms is that, you know, the great constant in life is change. Things always change, and right now, we've got to be able to pivot and respond to what the new world looks like. And you can't curse the darkness. You got to try to adapt to it.
I still feel that will change again. I really feel that people will start to go back to the offices they'll need a change. And I think it's healthy to change the work environment from your home environment, separate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think after COVID, COVID played a huge part in creating new habits, right? And
that's correct,
for people on a personal level to people on a business level, on a working level. And with those new habits, you had a lot of people, like neighborhoods that were affected heavily by COVID. And with that $20 million plan that you put back into the neighborhoods, can you talk a little bit about like what you and your administration did, and how you helped like the seniors and so on?
Yeah, we did an outline the other day, basically saying here's what we're doing over in on the east side. I think it's about, this is off the top of my head here, so it's about 80 new homes that we're building over there. Rehabbed another 130, 40 homes. Really, what was really, I think the best one is we've got 100-ish homeowners who really had houses that were getting run down, and we went in there and gave them grants to do new windows, doors, roofs, trim, and then if a lot of folks needed new heating systems, here's a new heater. And we did it because these are longtime Wilmington residents who frankly just don't have the wherewithal to go out and spend $15,000 or $20,000 on improving their homes. And so we did that. And not only did we help them, but we uplifted the general appearance of the whole place. The other thing we did this year, and it wasn't with that $20 million, although, you know, I kind of ticked off a bunch of stuff we're doing with that. The East Side's going to be the beneficiary of a lot of money. Governor Carney's spending basically $100 million to build a new school for the first time in 50 years.
And I hope that's going to be the Maurice Pritchett.
The governor wants it to be, so you know he'll get his way. But there's so much money that's being spent over there to try to uplift this old storied community, you know, that's just suffered like so many poor communities, and they suffer from neglect. And the neglect, I mean, there are a lot of people that are responsible for that. You know, we watched that happen. Everybody watched poverty unfold and didn't do enough to kind of stem that. And so we have an opportunity to be able to really change things, given that we got some federal money. The Choice Neighborhoods grant was given to Amani Village, to Reach Riverside, $50 million. It's going to change that corner of the city. And when you start ticking off all these different little things that are going on, and you start to see there is a dynamic that occurs, and that is if it's exciting there, maybe it can happen here, and then maybe it can happen there. The trouble is when it's not working there, everybody kind of despairs that the city's just going to go down. It just can't survive. And
not on your watch. Right. I have to say, someone who's watched your career as the mayor, you've been an exceptional leader for our community. I see you active, I see you present, I see you speaking on it. It's been an honor to have you on the show. This is not your first or second time on Good Morning Wilmington, and just to see your continued action. I mean, boots on the ground, and that's what the city needs, is a leader that continues to be present and active and showing that we're making strides to be the new Wilmington.
The new Wilmington.
I love it.
But you also, and I'm gonna piggyback off that, Vincenza. One thing about the mayor not just being a great leader and a great representation of what we're doing, he really cares.
Yes.
Like I have plenty of conversations with him offline that he's trying to understand a population of people, right? And like when he says neglect, I grew up over Southbridge, lived over East Side. For years, for many, many moons, neighborhoods have been neglected. And when they talked about the mayor, his first term, you know, all he think he gives a heck about is the waterfront. Second term, he came like, yo, I'm gonna drop a certain amount of million here in Eden Park. I'm gonna drop this over here at West Center City. I'm gonna drop this over here. So and now here comes Monty Village. Now, when you look at this collectively on what it's doing to not just seniors or people that lived in this community, now we have the community of kids that are growing up, that are having having a chance.
Right.
You know, with STEM and the Teen Warehouse and everything that's going on. So it's a privilege to watch change in front of you, right? It's a privilege to watch. And like, even I told the mayor, and when we was up at the desk, I said, the mayor said to me, hey, Ivan, you know how this thing works? Is if they see you, keep people like you, people like Jet, and the mayor gave me a grant to do workforce development. Like those cameras over there, those boxes, you paid for that. So we were able to give the students that participated in our workforce development come learn broadcasting. Like in Delaware, kids can learn broadcasting.
That's a big deal. That was never available, even my years.
Yeah, and being in
school
there.
years. I always wanted to pursue a career in broadcast journalism. Those resources, just the experience, the ability, the tools, nothing was here.
And now, and what it is you have kids that look like me that come from the same neighborhood, and we're giving them cameras, and we're not giving them guns. The streets are not giving them guns. We're giving them cameras, and we're teaching them ethics and the responsibility behind it. So maybe one day, I'm not even gonna say maybe, one day they will be going back out into the community like they're doing now and say, these are the stories that we're telling. And that's because of visionaries, right? No, that's because of leaders like you in your office and the people.
Is this a campaign commercial?
No, it's not. It's just the things that I see.
Listen, we're allowed to give you your flowers.
Yeah, that's all it is. We're just giving you flowers.
We're acknowledging it because we see it. And you are listening.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most
we
important
can go to commercial after
you
that.
are
I'm
listening.
Drop the mic. We'll be right back with Glow and Glow Cello. No, Mayor. This is not a campaign commercial. This is just something that we've seen and that I've seen personally. Being born and raised over Southbridge, where people forgot, right? Where money would ride by in a car and then go somewhere else and put it somewhere else. But now that these are like, when you get older, you start to realize how impactful a community, people can make an impact within a community. And white, black, indifferent, doesn't matter. It's all about impact. And these are the impacts that we see with, and I definitely want to hop on this, the amphitheater, right?
How about that?
I mean, that's freaking genius.
Let's talk about that.
That came out, and I want to say it came out of nowhere, right? And I love Tina Betts and Ray go over there. And just to watch that amphitheater, like, what do you think about that?
So I think it's emblematic of what the respect we have for the east side of Wilmington, for example. Those forgotten neighborhoods that we put, well, I don't know what we wound up spending, but it's a lot of millions. I mean, there were millions and millions to get. It was the first part where we converted the old horse stables into artists' facilities, and we're going to want to air condition them as well. But they're beautiful. And then you've got the bike projects right there, and that's a beautiful piece.
Urban bike project right next door.
And then, of course, you just had this big scrubby piece of ground behind it. And then Tina Betts came to me and said, here's what I want to do, and showed me these drawings. And, it turned out to be grander than I ever expected. And hats off to her. Yeah. And, if I'll take any credit at all, it's just that I have faith in my people and say, if you believe in it, and I have faith that you're going to do a good job, and she did.
So
it was remarkable.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, where is the amphitheater?
Yeah, right down the bottom of Walnut on 16th. It's right
Walnut
down,
16th.
and it's, you can drive right by it if you don't crane your neck and look. But and so people, a lot of elected officials would say to me, "Oh yeah, I know where it is." Well, they had never seen it, and so when they walked in there the other night, we had a nice party for our electeds and 250 members of the community, and great entertainment, the best sound system in the city. Is so good.
All different types of music. One night you can hear
Every
R&B,
Wednesday
the next night you can hear bluegrass. And people, what I love about it is how people that never been on that part of town because they heard
Yeah.
2012 murder capital of the world, right? But now you have people from Hokesson coming down in a community that they've never been in and saying, oh, this is beautiful. While I'm here, I might as well go down Market Street and check one of the restaurants out. So it's
But you said something I just want to make sure everybody understands. We have the lowest violent crime numbers that we've had
Talk to 'em.
in over 15 years. 1 year in the last 20 was just slightly lower than ours. We've got a great police department, people really working hard. We've got people out in the communities working to be violence interrupters,
Yeah.
modeled after a program in Newark, New Jersey, where I grew up, and we went up to see what they're doing, and the police love it. Police say, I think it's working. So,
and,
you know.
That's good.
and also, I want to touch on, again, great things that's going on that people don't know about. The idea from Ashley Christopher that was brought to you, and you was like, girl, go ahead and run with it. And it was HBCU week.
HBCU week.
You know what I mean?
You're talking about Atlanta. We're going down to Atlanta. We're going to the city of Morehouse and Spelman and teaching them about HBCU.
Come on, see?
Come on, right?
Like
little WilmINgton, Delaware. We're
little
teaching there.
Wilmington.
We went down, and we went down to Florida. We went down to Disney World. Showed Disney.
Yeah.
Here's how you do HBCU week.
Yeah.
You know, so Ashley's got it. We got it going.
They're going right. Again, in 2012, the Delaware was called Murder Capital.
2014.
In 2014?
Yeah.
2014. I started in 2014. And now in 2023, welcome to the new Wilmington.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can't beat that. Mayor, thanks
Thank
again,
you.
man.
Great being with you.
Thanks
Always.
for coming.
Always.
Seeing you.
Yes,
All right, for more
thank
information
you.
that's going on in the city, make sure you go to the city's website at WilmIngtonDE.gov. You see how I did that? Right. Got to include everybody.
That's all right. Thank you.